When you light up, yeah, lights all over me.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? We back on another Sunday of the Transition Talk Show, and I am your host, Train. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every Sunday with us as we come in and we just talk about things to help, empower the mind and uplift, wherever you may be at in your stage of life right now. The Transition Talk Show is all about transitions and how we got from one place and how we're getting to another. Today, I do have a special guest in the house with me, and she is a community leader here in Dallas, Tiggys Tea. Did I say that right?
Close. Solomon.
Solomon.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, like the king.
There you go.
Already. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
It's good, man. I appreciate you for being able to come on the show today, and sharing with us and the things that you're doing in the community and things like that. I know you've been doing it for a while now.
Yes.
Like even a person who's been helping me, you know what I mean? I never forget, we had a long talk about a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. We had a good talk, and the question that you asked me stuck with me so long. You were like, well, Train, what are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. And I didn't have no answers at the time. Mm-hmm. But giving me that question allowed me to do true reflections. Mm-hmm. And then, and it what led me to the things that I do now, to be honest, because it was genuine. Mm-hmm. And it really made me reflect on myself, and to actually ask myself, what are you going to do?
That's right.
And that was empowering at the same time, because sometimes we can feel like we powerless, like we can't do anything. And that's not the case, so I appreciate that for the help that you even have given me over the years, and it didn't even start with community work, even though that's like the field where we work in now. It kind of started with music.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's so much. I have to remind you that, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it was so funny because when I left music, I genuinely left.
Okay.
Like I was like, whatever, back there, back there. You know what I mean? I felt like I did what I needed to accomplish to know to move forward, because I never really wanted to be an artist. I just wanted to learn the business so I can be a greater help to other people.
Right.
And still to some aspect today.
Right.
But when I stopped, I stopped.
Okay.
So when we had met up again, you were like, yeah, you remember that? I'm like, I don't remember no interview.
Because I was looking, I was like, I know your name. And then I had to go back through my emails. I think it was like from 2015.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did a story on you.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But to speed up today, and the things that you're doing, let me ask you, what actually prompt you to want, to help those who kind of like need guidance or need just the help to get their self or their life, on a direction that they can see some growth?
Sure. Well, I guess it's understanding where I came from. So I'm originally from Ethiopia. Okay. I came here when I was a little girl. My family is Ethiopian. I came here as a little girl. I'm not going to tell you my age, but for those of y'all that remember, I came during the time of We Are the World, the song that Michael Jackson and many others sang, We Are the World.
That's like early 80s.
You got to go there now. But yes. But during that time, there was a major war in our country. And, they were taking kids to be in the army, at a young age. Even though I was a little girl, I still remember bits and pieces. That's how serious, PTSD is, even in trauma in little kids, because I still remember it. And my family's like, you remember that? You were so little. Fast forward, my parents literally came, that saying, with a dollar and a dream. We didn't have a dollar. We just came with a dream.
Right.
Okay. Right. At that time, we didn't have a huge Ethiopian community. We were one of the first ones in Dallas. My parents literally worked night and day. My dad worked in a gas station, paid $2 an hour, working at the liquor store, and working at the park garage, all at the same time. we were bringing people over here, all of us living together in one household. My mom working as a housekeeper, housekeeping, but my parents were still helping people, even though we were struggling. They were bringing people over here, and we were living with a house full of people,
Right.
and barely making it. But that was instilled in me as a young age, and that's what I know.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I know. And so fast forward, I always knew, I can't explain it in words, but that's just something that I just know. It's just what God wanted me to do. And my family did it. Now it's my turn.
I mean, that's big. That's major. And I say that because I remember an old passage say, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he's older, he won't depart from it. And I always look at that gap in between, and for me, I had got caught in that gap in between.
Me too. Me too. Now, I did too. Okay. I mean, I didn't fall, but.
Yeah. But it was like that gap in between is what really allowed me to transition myself to what I actually knew.
Okay.
Not what I was feeling that I was going through or I've been through. And I think that you have training in life because you're going to go through something.
Yeah.
And it's the trainings that you have that's going to get you through those things. Right. So to hear that, that's major, because it's easy for us to be like, I ain't going back to that. I ain't doing that. My life gonna be like this. My life it can become a my show, rather than truly having a heart of compassion, and it really stepping into my humanity. So that's why I said it, because that shows a lot of integrity.
Thank you.
And in the community, I believe that's one of the biggest things that a person must have.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Is true integrity. To me, my definition of integrity is your energy. And your energy is, to me, that G is God. And am I connected to that? And is it showing outside of me when I'm doing what I'm doing? You know what I mean? So to even know you, I know that's kind of true.
Okay.
I want to say kind of. That's wrong.
Okay.
I apologize.
Kind of, right?
Yeah, but I know that to be true.
Okay.
And this is because you have a history now. You know how they say we work. We got a resume that builds up, but yours has always been with the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I never have seen that it was ever about you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's big. The things that you're doing now, let's share. Let's talk about it. Because there's people out here, right, who needs help. And there's some people out here who don't know where to go or who they can turn to, or what's even offered.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I mean, some people may not know Tigist. So the people who don't know Tigist.
Well, as you stated earlier, I like to say more of a community specialist. Leader is such a hard, big shoes to fill. But community specialist in the sense of I'm literally boots on the ground. My experience with my previous organization that I worked with, I wore many different hats. I did the community engagement, which, doing home visits and getting to really know, whether it's in the schools, getting to know the students, making home visits, visiting the parents, the neighbors, because you have to understand, you can't just visit the student once and think you know them. You have to understand the environment.
Right.
So you have to have real relationships. So even the young girls that I've mentored from junior high, they're now like in their early 20s, mid-20s. I'm still their mentor.
Right.
Their parents.
Right.
Now it's like they call me about their kids, their grandkids,
Right.
So I'm like, wow, this time has went by. But, you have to really, be about the people. It's not just a one-time visit. But so, I worked as community liaison, bringing in resources, teaching people how to properly, because you can't just hand a person the resource. You have to teach them how to utilize it and walk them through the steps. So that's pretty much what I've done. And then I'm at a different organization now, more with business, Black-owned business, minority businesses. But at the end of the day, still helping individuals because it's all hand in hand. It's still economic impact, because at the end of the day, my goal is to bring people from the community to the table, because we have great ideas. We just don't know where to go.
Right.
We don't know what resources out there, whether it's for personal or for business.
Right.
So it's bringing them to the table so they can know where the resources are and how to use them.
Right. Yeah. Right. That makes a lot of sense. We're going to go to a quick video, and then we're going to be able to come right back, and then we're going to dive in a little bit deeper, and also, let people know about, some other stuff that you're doing just as well.
Okay, that works.
They say a real warrior's road is a lonely road, but I'm prepared to take it. Spread love to the love that love me. Throw middle fingers to the motherfuckers that hate. Till the love is tested by the fire, it don't mean nothing, nah. They say it's easier to love when there's no real involved. I swear the motherfucking truth will make you null and void. I know I'll be left alone when it's hard. Yeah, I know I'll be left alone when it's hard. I know I'll be left alone when it's hard. Shit get revealed when it get hard out here. Walk around ready for war, but I got scars out here. I don't need no nigga for nothing, nigga, I boss out here. And I did crimes by myself, cause these niggas talk out here. Self-made, self-paced, in 7th grade, I was getting paper. Pushing the lawnmower, selling Nick sacks to the neighbors. Had to get out there, trying to help mama, trying to save us. Cause faith without works, it ain't gonna work, I got no favors. It ain't no favors. If you tryna eat, better go out there, create you a chair, pull up to the table. Got out there, seen why I can't kill Abel. Jealousy is always your neighbor. When you becoming successful, niggas gon' hate you. Till the love is tested by the fire, it don't mean nothing, nah. They say it's easier to love when there's no real involved. I swear the motherfucking truth will make you null and void. I know I'll be left alone when it's hard. Yeah, I know I'll be left alone when it's hard. I know I'll be left alone when it's hard. Niggas still getting nervous when shit starting to seem too good, yeah. Not used to the luxury, I'm used to the walls in the hood, yeah. Wanted to change shit so bad, I can see the change. When I start touching all on this cash, I can see the lanes. And niggas still try to dip in my bag, I can see the lanes. Bringing up stories, now she adore me, I can see the game. Yeah, I can see the aim. But you wasn't around me when I was down to eating water and grains. Or selling weed and cocaine. But now that I'm up, these people run up, trying they look, trying to get them above, but they get nothing from me, not even a fuck. Was you there? Till the love is tested by the fire, it don't mean nothing, nah. They say it's easier to love when there's no real involved.
Tiggys Tea is natural, wholesome, and delicious. It's made with all natural herbs and a whole lot of love. As a local small business, we're passionate about helping you refresh your body and soul. Our goal is to provide you with a healthy and enjoyable tea drinking experience. So whether you're looking for a morning pick-me-up or a relaxing evening beverage, Tiggys Tea is the perfect choice. Visit our website, ilovetiggystea.com, to learn more and place your order today.
All right, we back on the Transition Talk Show, and like I'm your host, Train, and my special guest in the house is Tiggys Solomon.
You got it.
Man, we back. Knowing all the stuff that you really do, you know what I mean? In the Metroplex, what are some things that you see? I would say need an uplift.
Well, I don't think it's just the Metroplex. I think it's just the issue is pretty much the same everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, so much. Well, I could tell you this: a lot of the things that I saw, like when I was helping the youth, at the end of the day, they go back to the same neighborhood. They go back to the same household. So we can mentor the kids all day long, but the parents are getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
So I think we need more parenting classes. But then again, you dig deeper into that. Okay, what's causing that?
Yeah.
So there's so many different issues. But at the end of the day, you know, poverty is, my mentor taught me that poverty is a problem that causes 1,000 problems and 1,000 more problems.
Right.
So we could say the issue is gun violence. We could say the issue is this. We could say, but it really goes back to poverty.
And I believe that, but I also know that poverty is more than a mindset. You know what I mean? It's an actual reality
Yes.
in so many people's faces. But I also understand that in certain communities, it's something that's designed.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
because of that design is why you get what you get. And it's kind of hard to be able to tackle the community and help the community when the community is up under a design.
So are you saying just give up then if it's a design?
I'm not saying give up, but I'm saying that I believe that part of our fight is targeted the wrong way. And I say that because community is people. The city is the people. But the city to us is the officials. And that's not right. You see what I'm saying?
Basically, we are the city.
We are the city.
We are the city. We are the community. We are the village.
Right.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, you know what I mean, if we are that prominent, then I believe prominency should take over.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
Because if not, then it's always controlled and it's always dictated. And in particular areas, the dictatorship is not right. It's harmful and it's deadly. And it's costing us a lot of our men, our young teenagers, our women. You know, even when you talk about, you know, the pregnancies and the mothers are getting younger, you know, then I'm a person who, you know, who really put a lot of focus on traumas, especially past life traumas, you know, childhood traumas and things of that nature. But and the reason why is because you go through these at an early state in life, and it begins to be your norm when you get older.
Yes.
And it's not normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we feel that it's normal because we have become immune to it. Just because we're sponges don't mean that we should be soaking everything up.
Right. Right.
You know, so those are the things that I look at when it comes down to how can we potentially, you know, create a difference or make it better if we're not the ones that's truly, you know, at the helm of we're not at the helm to really be able to make those changes, or we're not tackling those who we need to be tackling to make those changes.
I think in the age that we're in, we do see a lot of more people. We're in this woke stage right now.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. So you do see a lot of people waking up, and you can't expect change overnight. The transformation is gradual, you know. But we're fighting a system that's controlling everything, you know, from the way we behave, because, you know, through our music, through what we watch,
Right.
And that has an effect in our behavior. So we have, so I think it's the change, the transformation's happening, but we're fighting a bigger system that's controlling, that has the real control of everything.
And I think, and I guess that's why I look at it, because for me, and then talking and then dealing with a lot of men, right? My words to them is be the man. Don't allow the officials to be the man. You be the man. We are the pillars of our own home. We are the pillars of our own community. We are the pillars of our own city. If we were governing, we wouldn't need the governing. So allow us to become better.
Okay.
Allow us to become more disciplined. Allow us to be able to become people who are strong links, creating, you know what I mean, strong chains amongst one another. And if we begin to do that, then I believe dynamic just change without having to look at the other. because it begins to be weakened. Mansa Musa, one of the greatest kings that ever was.
Right.
They were one of the richest kings, rather.
Right.
Well, economic deprivation, he broke.
He's the richest man in the world to this day.
And he broke.
Yeah.
And you realize you can't have a economy, if everybody have.
Yeah.
So he's seen what people looked as though they did not have. So he gave them gold. And it tore up the entire economy. And for me, it's like, what is our goal to break this system?
Yeah, there's so many things we're fighting. I mean, first we have to unite.
True.
We have to unite because there's so many different organizations, so many different, and everyone's doing so many great work, so many great things, but we truly do have to come together as a people. And I know that sounds like a broken record, but we have to come together, whether it be in the community, whether you talk about globally, like the whole Pan-African movement, but as long as we're divided?
Yeah. United you stand, divided you fall.
Exactly.
And I believe that for us to know ourselves, and just like you had said that, you're from Ethiopia, then you kind of have an understanding about village. You kind of have an understanding about tribal. Kind of a reason why your mother and father began.
But that could be negative too when you talk about tribalism. That's a whole other
it
conversation.
could be. But that's why. But that's why I'm saying it. You know what I mean? Because we have to understand that we may all look the same, but we all ain't the same. Okay. So. And we was talking about growth before the show even started.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
In order to be able to have true growth, you have to be in the right space to be able to grow. Yeah. So even when you're creating alliances, you have to have the right alliances in order for it to truly be able to grow.
But what's the right alliances?
When I say right, I mean the things that actually see things alike amongst one another.
Okay, but you got to remember the person that maybe doesn't see the light yet is because they've been in the dark for so long, right? So do you just exclude them because they don't see the same vision, or you're patient? You have to be patient enough to teach them and show them.
You gonna ask me this on camera?
Sorry, yeah.
Are you gonna ask me this on camera?
Okay, well, yeah, bring it.
I will give you an answer. You know what I mean?
Yes. Because you go deep.
yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna say this. There's a such thing called the collective.
Right.
I have to work with the collective because that collective means that they are the ones that are ready now. And in order to get something done, you have to be willing to work with those that's ready now.
Right.
Now, the ones that are not, that doesn't disclude them. But what it also doesn't do is put a halt on the work.
No, absolutely not.
So
keep moving.
It means that as they do, begins, to see, catch on, get it, then there's an open door always because the work need be done and we need as many workers as possible. But if you're not in that space right now, then you're not in that space.
Okay.
I have prime example, right? And this is something that I saw with my own eyes. I saw a shooting. I saw someone, pass, and I saw the other person gasping, what I mean? When the ambulance got there, the police got there and everything, the body that was in the street, they left in the street. And they went to the person, who was gasping. The way that it looked was like, dang, but in our actuality, that person is already passed.
They can't do anything for
right.
them, but had to.
So in our situation.
I got you. They have reviving the person that's, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So am I taking good sight on the things around, and am I doing it from good sight, or am I doing it, from my own toxicity, or am I doing it from my own traumas? Am I doing it, am I actually doing it from good sight, from clear sight? Okay. Because if I'm doing it in clear sight, I'm gonna work with those things that's in the clear.
Yeah. It makes sense.
So that's my answer for that.
Okay. So, I'm sure I knew you were gonna have an answer. A deep one at that.
I mean, that's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't help it. There was a time when I was very short. You know, on my words.
I don't remember.
That was a very.
I don't remember that.
Thank God. So, you know, but yeah, there was a time when I was short on my words. There was a time when, you know, I didn't have no care.
Okay.
You know, there was a time when I didn't have no concern. But also, there was no cares and no concerns even about myself.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's when we was talking earlier, and I was, you know, saying that space in between.
Yeah.
When I was in that space in between, you couldn't reach me.
Yeah.
You couldn't get me. You know, you couldn't get me to come out of where I was at.
Yeah.
This is where I chose, and this is where I want.
Yeah.
You know, but when I came out of that, it was so much that was given, you know, enlightenment to sometimes how to share it. It can seem like it's a overflow, you know. And my thing is, I tell people, look, I'm just a person planting the seed. I ain't trying to get it to grow.
Okay.
Not my job.
Okay. You just.
But it is my job to plant the seed. So now when I understand seed planting, and it's funny because me and my son been talking for 2 days now about growing plants and stuff. You know, he's 12 and he's growing his plants and things like that. Actually, a garden really.
Nice.
But planting seeds is more than just, you know, me putting the seed into the ground.
Right. Right. It takes work. You have to water
Right.
it. You have to make sure it has the right lighting.
I mean,
The right time of day. I mean,
even just to plant the seed itself,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You know, that's thing that you have to do before you just put the seed into
Yeah.
and you just can't. You have to actually tilt the ground
True.
before you can literally put the seed in.
Yeah.
So I'm just a person planting the seed.
Okay.
But I also understand planting the seed takes some work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, once the seed planted, guess what?
You did.
My job done.
Okay.
And sometimes that job is a tedious job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tilting the ground ain't easy.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing it summer times, you know what I mean, or whatever the conditions may be. But if that's what we're called, or that's what I'm called to do, then that's what I do.
Okay.
You know, but once it's done, I'm okay because I understand that was pleasing in God's sight,
That's right.
not my sight,
That's right.
because it didn't feel good to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think this is one of the things that we don't really be genuine about. You know, we just show the brighter sides or the good, but we don't show what it goes through for that brighter side. You know, we don't show the authenticity, you know, so much of ourselves.
Okay.
You know, because we're human.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and humanity goes into everything that we do.
That's right.
So we have to sometimes be able to let people know, you know, like it ain't gonna be easy. You know, it ain't gonna always feel good. You know, but this is my call of duty.
And that's why when we talked about, when you were asking me about why do I do the work that I do, and why you do the work you do, is because your experiences,
Right.
taking the experiences you have, and you know that, hey, you had to go through all of this in order to get where you're at now.
Yeah.
So you're talking from experience.
Yep.
And the same here, I know I talked about my families, you know, where we're from, but even when I'm talking to the girls or mentoring the girls, it's from my personal life experiences, you know, the things that I've experienced or seen that I'm like, hey, you know, you might want to take this other route, you know, and trust you me, okay?
Yeah.
You might not want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So, but again, it is those experiences.
And to flip though, you know, because we just showed your commercial, you know, about your tea. Now, you're a person who help people, you know, kind of kickstart, you know, something that they might have a vision or a dream to do as far as entrepreneurship or anything like that.
Correct.
But it's also experience in that because you have your own tea.
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about it.
Sure. So I have a tea line called Tiggys Tea. Again, my name is Tigist, so I took the name Tiggys Tea, and it's all natural herbal tea, no caffeine. So I launched it in January, So the tea product line that I'm focused in on right now is for gut health. So I only have one tea product right now, but over the months before the year is up, I'll have 2 more. But the one that I have right now is called I gotta go. I gotta go. But it's to help it's for gut health.
Okay.
So it's to help individuals who are bloated or feeling constipated, or maybe you just want to kick off your weight loss journey. Trust me, this works because I have 100% repeat clientele.
Right.
But it's, again, all natural, no caffeine, because I do believe in natural products.
Right.
Yeah.
What So what prompted you to do so much work up under organizations and things to say, there's something that I want to do for me?
I've always been an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Even just like whenever remember years ago before I even started, I was writing that. I promoted I did my first concert what is that? Concert promo. Like I've done so many different.
I know you was doing the like the journalism was what I call it. That's better. That's a better word. I understand.
Yeah.
But when you, and I guess I said because this right here is just something that just boom, and out there in your face, but it's also the face with it.
So with the tea, again, as I mentioned, I've always, for about, I would say not always, 15 years, maybe a little bit more, I've been creating my own natural teas at home, whether it's, cutting up ginger, putting in cinnamon, cayenne pepper, just little different things, and like really making my home remedies. Fast forward when COVID hit, right? I was making different teas at home and giving it to different people, different friends, and that they even was like, man, this helped, which I never doubted it. So fast forward, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and stop playing and let me do this because I know, right, people really need to medicine, I'm not telling you how to stop using medicine, but natural remedies do work. Okay. Right. So I want to help people through natural remedies.
Yeah. And I say this because it does work, but I think what we have a lot of people don't understand how much of themselves is a natural base. So we don't understand we don't understand really like the attitudes that comes from staying natural when you're a natural base already. So society has showed us that, chemically is the way to go.
That's right.
But we don't, and when we was young in school, it taught you that acids and bases don't mix. But the acid tastes so good, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we fall prey to it. And we not understanding falling prey to it is what makes this get richer, makes you stay poor. But poor doesn't mean financially, poor mean your life. Yeah. So to really be able to uplift that life,
your
and
health
to boost
is your
that,
wealth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we did go back to natural substances,
that's right,
or natural bases, then we're actually doing ourselves a justice more than an injustice.
And how can you say you believe in God, but you can't believe in what God created? What the man-made medicine has a million side effects that might be healing one thing, and that's not really healing you. It's temporarily relieving you.
Right.
But causing 10 million other issues in your body.
That's true. That's true. I gotta get with you on that. You know what I mean? And see, I've been seeing it, you know what I mean, but I didn't know the fullness of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I know for myself, I'm a big person on wanting to be able to do more natural and being more natural for myself. Like you say, wealth is your health is your wealth.
That's right.
And it's just something about trying to do things from a whole point of view and not a partial point of view.
That's right.
You know, and I'm big on that. You know what I mean? Like I want to be full. I want to be whole.
Yeah.
You know, in order to be able to really see the fullness of life. You know,
but it's a process. It's a process.
Trust it. It's an everyday process.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, in the recovery world, you know, we teach that recovery is always. You know, in religious worlds, you know what I mean, then it's taught that healing is always. So when you keep yourself in the habit of, you know, always, you realize it is something that, you know, that's going to carry me for the long haul. It's going to be something that's daily. It ain't going to never be done until you over. You know, so you know, that's an understanding to be able, you know, that we have to be able to accept. You know, everybody say, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, so, and I think that's just more for motivation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I tell people you can change a life overnight.
But it starts.
So, but once that changes,
then
it's changed.
Yeah. Once you have it made up, and that's yes.
Yeah. So it can happen overnight.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go from 270 pounds down to, you know, 170 pounds overnight. Yeah. But the process of it,
being motivated, seeing the visions, you know, staying consistent.
It can happen instantly, you know. And I think that's one of the things that we have to be able to be genuine about, you know, and knowing where the processes start. Yeah. You know, and the process is always going to start within you.
That's right.
You know, before you see anything outside, the consistency have to be in you, and then you'll begin to gradually see it outside.
Right.
You know, so I believe that totally. We're gonna go to another video, and then we'll be right back with Tiggys Solomon.
I appreciate the heartbreak. That's what made me who I am today. That's what gave me all the motivation that I needed. I planned on rubbing it in your face. I stand on everything that I say. I've been on a move, and I owe it all to you. Ain't got nothing to speak on. Had enough time to sleep on me. Sting on it, yeah. I had to run this shit up myself. Thought I wouldn't be shit when you left. Thought I wouldn't be shit without your help. I'm on. And you praying you can see the day where I fall off. I didn't wanna have to throw away what we fought for. But I learned from all my mistakes. I appreciate the heartbreak. That's what made me who I am today. That's what gave me all the motivation that I needed. I plan on rubbing it in your face. I stand on everything that I say. I've been on a move, and I owe it all to you.
Tune in to Trainsitional talk show every Sunday, 6 p.m. through 7 p.m. live on YouTube as they play my music. Yeah. To get these streets they been praying for. From this HOG, ain't nothing but the hog in me. This house of games. No, I ain't changed.
We back on the Transition Talk Show with my special guest, Tiggys Solomon. Before we just went to the last video, we were talking about your tea, and then we were talking about the health,
Yes.
benefits of it.
Yes,
But I heard you say one, but you were saying you had two.
I do.
So what's the other one about?
So the other company is called Interact. Basically, I help businesses, both profit and nonprofit businesses who are getting started, whether it's helping them with business structure, getting started, like they want to start an LLC, getting them properly with their paperwork. If they have a nonprofit, really educating them and showing them the importance of having their mission statement together in the right form and walking them through that. So, because that will make or break if you are going to get grants or funding.
Right.
Also, so many different things, helping them, teaching them how to network, how to go out for grants and things of that nature.
Since you're helping people do this, right? I know it's
I already know where
right?
this is going. Okay.
But you're helping a lot of people do this, and we were just talking about, how as a community we have to be able to come together.
Yes.
And especially what I consider to be those at the head, like small businesses, nonprofits, and things of that nature, right?
Right.
What do you feel is a wedge that's not allowing to be able to create these alliances?
I don't think it's. There are organizations that are working in silos. As long as we're working in silos, that's it's not going to work. So, but I think I see people improving, organizations improving.
It's the transition show.
I don't have an answer for that, Train. I know, but I don't have an answer for that because, I know at one point, just coming into this, I used to see, when coming into this arena of community work, I did used to see everybody just doing their own thing. But over the years, I have started to see so many organizations starting to collaborate for whatever reason.
Right.
But it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There still needs to be more work, more collaborations.
True.
Because as long as, like you said earlier, if the people at the head are not properly coming together, how do you expect the people that we're helping?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, and I say that because I look at it as, despite position, or despite a position I may be in, I always remember the position I once was in. And I always remember how that felt. And for me to be able to still be within, let's just say $5, right, for a community, right, and to still be able to be there, and to still see so much still the same. You still feel it. What you once felt. It may not be you no more, but you still feel it.
Yeah.
So for me, because I can still feel those things, it what drives me to want to be able to do some things, and be willing, to open myself up, to open my resources up, but to also be able to collaborate, and it has to be for those who are hurting.
That's right.
It can't be for me. Okay. So that's why, that was the reason why I said it, because when you look out and we look into this community, I can say it takes a process. Inside of that process, how many more we see locked up? How many more we see get shot? How many more we got to go to parents, to these burials? It's ongoing, So the relief, because clearly inside they don't know the relief. They don't see it yet. They haven't received it or got it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times don't even want it until that knock comes to your door. And that's something that I always think about, because you don't want to wait till the knock hit your door.
So can I ask you a question? So with so many different fires in our community, where do you think where do we start? I mean, I know we're already started, but when you put one out, it's another one, it's another one, it's another. So you can't really blame an organization or person say they're not doing enough work. It's just that there's so much fire. It's just the fact that people that can help needs to come on and help.
Yeah, and to give a little bit more of wider understanding of the fire, then it's just viruses. So how do you handle the viruses? Is by being the antidote. And I believe that those that are choosing to be antidotes, you know what I mean, or want to be one, and need how to be able to place themselves around those that are antidotes, and then be able to go, because if it's a wildfire here, right? A simple water hose not gonna put it out.
Absolutely not.
By the time that it is put out, quite naturally, something else done caught a fire.
Right.
This is how viruses spread.
Right.
So in order to be able, and one antidote is not good enough for a virus, which means that you have to have more antidotes.
Right.
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 So for me, it would be understanding, you know what I mean, the antidotes, and then also understanding those that look to be the antidotes, and aiding them to become that.
Okay.
Because now what that does is already reduce a fire.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
So for me, it's just like, you know what I mean, you have antidotes out here, but you also have those that's seeking to be.
Okay.
Let's get them into the right position, into the right place. Okay. Because now that minimizes this. You know what I mean? Because what we're seeing happening is those that's choosing or would like to, you know, they get caught by that fire. They get burnt in that fire.
They get caught up.
You know, so that's what I believe.
Okay.
You know, that we have to be able to do is to be able to really, if we know it's antidotes over here, then let's just call out and say, hey, those that's seeking to be an antidote to the solution, come here.
Okay. Okay.
You know, there are some that's ready.
Okay.
I get calls all the time just on things like asking, well, how can you do this, or how did you do this, or whatever. You know, and I'm not finna withhold the information. You know what I mean? So we have to realize those calls are steady coming, and we have to be ones that answer those calls.
And the reason why these calls are coming is because now they see people like yourself, people like Jay, Bruce Wayne, and many others that were originally, you know, probably on the other side, you know, but now they see y'all and they see the good that y'all are doing in the community. It makes sense. Yeah. Because so if it hadn't been for y'all, those calls wouldn't be coming in. Yeah.
That's true. You know, and I guess that's why, you know, for me, it's important to really accept that. You know, for a long time I didn't accept. I didn't. I was like, I'm just a norm like you. You know what I mean? I'm regular old Joe Blow just like you. Not accepting the role or the position that God was giving. Right. You know, was overlooking it myself. Right. You know, and really wasn't. And when you do that, you don't see how you can really help. Right. You know, but when you accept it, now you begin to realize the resources that you really do have, that you really can be a help.
It's that mindset that we talk about again.
Yeah. It's a constant, you know, that's a constant work within itself. Right. You know, I tell people all the time, excuse me, the wind gonna blow every day. Don't mean you gotta blow with it. Right. You know what I mean? Right. That, you know, so you have to have some solidness to you. Okay. You know, you have to have some foundation. That's right. So that's what you have to be able to stand on. Right. But if I don't have a foundation, I'm gonna get blown with the wind. That's right. You know, and that what allows my mind to be able to stay strong and to stay focused. Okay. Is because I understand I have a foundation. Okay. I have a solid foundation. Yeah. And it's not me, but it's what's within me. That's right. You know what I mean? And to always be willing to lean on that. That's right. It ain't always easy. And this is me. Let's be authentic. Let's be genuine. Yeah. Let's say, man, it's tough. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Are
Because
you saying it's tough being in the position you are as a leader, or what are you saying?
nah, it's tough. It's tough even being able to stay within that frame of thought.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Or you're
It's
human.
tough to be
You're human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to be genuine about things because other people are going to go through it too.
Yeah.
And they are going through it.
Yeah.
And then, but our lives look wonderful.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's all wonderful,
no,
but it
it's
is
not what-
wonderful.
it's not what you-
know what I mean? But
Right.
it takes a particular work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to be willing to allow people to know that, you know what I mean? Like the experience is key.
Yeah.
You know, that experience is key. I mean, I believe that experience is one of the greatest teachers.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to be willing to accept you're going to get some life-giving experiences.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Trust me, I know all about them.
So that's the thing that's for me that's most important
Right.
is that, I don't want to give you just an upside.
Yeah.
I want you to know that in order for it to be up, it has to have some balance
To
of
be
down, ups and
transparent.
downs, right?
All the way around.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen when you do hit that rock,
Yeah.
in that hard spot,
Yeah.
or do you have what it takes to continue, or because you don't have all the proper, knowledge, or you wasn't told all the things that will potentially arise.
You just told all the good stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't know when this happens. Like, wait a minute, I wasn't told about this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So we have to be, that's why, let's be real with it, let's be genuine with it. So a person knows that it's not going to just be, all smiles and all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had to understand what it meant when it says I have my good days outweighs my bad days.
That's right. Okay.
It doesn't mean that I had more good days than bad days, but it does mean that the good it carries far more
Yeah.
than any other days that were bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that for me that allows me to say, okay, I got this.
Okay.
Because I know that the good has a greater weight
That's right.
than what the bad
That's
is
right.
carrying.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's something that, is important to know, especially when you're developing. Mm-hmm. Developing ain't easy.
No.
So,
Yeah, it's a daily process. Yeah. And actually one of my female friends and I
wrap up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll stop right there.
Nah, you good. Keep
Sure.
going.
Oh,
Keep going.
okay. Okay. Yeah. So, one of my friends and I actually was talking on our way here, and we were just talking about life and where we're at right now, even just compared to last month, last year, and it really is like being intentional on development,
Right.
self-development. And working on yourself, your mind,
Yeah.
and your thoughts and your reactions. And it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, especially when you're held to a certain,
A standard
Yeah.
and a position.
Yeah.
But, and that's the good thing to be able to say that, because, man, that's the most empowering thing that a person can know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not always just the good, but it's also knowing what it's going to take.
Yeah.
That's where the power really lies.
Right.
I appreciate you for being able to share that. And also, man, let people know before we leave where they can reach you, and also how they can get the tea, so I can know how I can get me some tea too.
Absolutely. So, if you're interested in getting my tea, again, Tiggys Tea, which is all natural herbs, no caffeine, and right now the tea that I have is for gut health. Whether you're wanting to detox, to lose weight, or if you're feeling constipated, you go to my website, ilovetiggistea.com. Also, if you're wanting assistance in your with your business, regardless if you're a for-profit or nonprofit, I could definitely assist you, and we could talk about where you're at right now. And I usually help smaller businesses that are just getting started out because, we're trying to help you get to the next level. So you go to my phone number. Can you put it back up? So 940-331-6252. You could call or just text, or you could email me enter-act@enter-act.info, and then I'll give you a call back or email you back within 24 hours.
All right. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you for coming and joining the show this Sunday.
No, thank you. This is nice.
I appreciate it, man. Y'all guys, you tune in. as you know, every Sunday from 6 to 7 on the Transition Talk. So
I know it seemed like I turned my back, but it's far from true. How could I ever turn my back on the chosen few? So what I do, look at me. In a picture was bittersweet. I did it for all y'all, but I never did do it for me. This is not turn on you, say this is just turning to me. Knowing that I am better than I am. Afraid to look at me, ugly faces is all I got. The pain or horror inside the thing that you keep in the dark. Walking with smiley faces while holding a broken heart. Chambers of locked doors and open and kinda rough. Looking at deep wounds and knowing that I've been cut. So I know that I feel the pain, the umbrella in the rain. It's time to let it go and time to sing a different note. I gotta reach this lighthouse to shed a little hope. And none of us really differ. I can and you can. We all can be some winners. We all can be some winners.
Everybody lights up. Everybody lights up. Turn your light on. Everybody